So I know a bunch of y'all come and watch these videos about me reacting to the long list or whatever, but you don't subscribe. And I'm like a little sad about that. So please do subscribe. I'm nice. I'm a nice person. I read the book of books. I talk about them. I'm cool. No? Okay. Anyway, hello and welcome to a new video. My name is Sriti and I love to read books. I read books of various different genres and of various different prices, and today the Booker Prize long list is going to be announced and I am super excited. It's actually apparently going to be announced right now, but I haven't looked at my phone so that I can tell you what I think my predictions are, which are like really lame, so I'm just gonna jump through it really fast. But essentially I have three categories of books. So the first category is books I've already bought and I want to read them because I've already bought them, and that is In Ascension, In Memoriam, Small Worlds, Burnham Wood and Demon Copperhead. Demon Copperhead also won the Women's Prize and the Pulitzer Prize, so I'm like, will it do the third as well and win the Booker? Don't know. But yeah, the next category is for Desi rep, because like I'm full Desi and I'm like, yeah, I want some of these books at least to be there. So Hungry Ghosts, Covenant of Water and One Small Voice. You have maybe noticed that I have not put Victory City by Salman Rushdie here, but that's because I read it and didn't think it was that amazing. So I don't know, maybe the Booker Prize people will like it, but in my opinion it was okay. The next category and the last category is because I want to read them, and for that I have Wandering Souls, If I Survive You, The Fraud, The New Life and Chain Gang All Stars. So that is my prediction. Just solely based on vibes, nothing, no thoughts. I haven't been like, oh my god, is this eligible? Will like there be so many publishers from the same thing, because you're not allowed to have too many books from the same publisher. I've not verified any of that stuff. I've just like put in these things and just been like, I'm going with it. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what it is right now. I am now going to open my phone and check out where, like, if it's done any announcement thingy. Booker Prize, oh my god. Oh, okay, it has. Oh shit, okay, wait, it's going too fast. I need to go to the website, I think. But one book. Jesus, okay, 1 second. I need to go to the Booker Prize website because I saw a few books, but it goes really fast, so I'm like, discover the Booker Prize 2023 shortlist. Let us do that, shall we? Yeah. All right. Where is the shortlist? Where is the long list? Where are you? It's just giving me 2022 judges. I don't want judges. Alright, so here's what we have so far. I'm just gonna put the screenshot up here because I've just been... So out of the list, I got If I Survive You correct, and I got In Ascension correctly. Other than that, nothing. So two of the 13 books I got right, but I see that there is a Indian person here, some person named Chetna Maroo. But cool, let me now Google these books and let you know what the book is about, so that you too can understand what it is about, and then I can also see whether I want to read these books or not, because I will definitely be doing like a vlog of sorts where I like read and review some of these books for you. But
a little longer than a few minutes later.
okay, so I've had some time to go through the articles and all, and it seems that out of the 13 books, there are 4 debut novelists and 6 that have been longlisted for the first time, and there are 3 others that have been nominated previously. So that's Sebastian Barry, Twan Eng, who apparently has written 3 books and all 3 of them have been longlisted, and Paul Murray, and apparently one third of the entire list is by Irish writers, which is interesting because in the past few years we were like, where are the Irish writers? There may be 2, 3, but now we have 1/3, which is interesting. And yeah, so that's all the information that I have so far on that. That's all I can probably say. It is sort of sad that like Zadie Smith's book as well as Demon Copperhead is not in it, because like, I don't know, I was kind of hoping that I would be able to read those books, because my life is just going to be these books now. The book or Longlist, you know what I mean? So yeah, but I'm excited for the 2 books that I had on my list. So let me tell you what that is about. If I Survive You by Jonathan Escoffery, and this is basically a story of like interconnected stories where we hear of this family that has come from Kingston to Miami and basically how they're surviving, and about the financial crash as well as just generally dealing with like racism and trying to survive in the city and in the US. And I think that it's going to be really interesting to see like an immigrant's story, but also just in general I think that it sounded really interesting. And I do like the idea of having like these interconnected vignette sort of like, you know, stories of the same person. So that sounds cool. And then In Ascension is basically by Martin MacInnes, and it's like a sci-fi novel about a person who a marine biologist who goes into like deep sea exploration to find some possible aliens. And apparently this book is just written so beautifully. Everyone who I know has read this book. For example, Eric Anderson, he absolutely loves it. I think he's read it like twice because he's like, the writing is just exquisite and beautiful. So I bought the book thinking that like I need to read it because I love exquisite writing. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this one as well. So those are the 2 books. The other book that I'm definitely going to be reading is going to be A Spell of Good Things by Ayobami Adebayo. She has written a book previously called Stay With Me, which I haven't read yet, but I have the book with me. But this is apparently about 2 families in Nigeria and how they're sort of interconnected, and one family is sort of down on its luck where the father has lost his job and they're just trying to like scrape by to like do things and make money. So like there's someone works at a tailor shop, and then there's another person who keeps coming to that tailor shop, and we get to see like her family as well, but they are like really well off and are good, like have good money. So yeah, I think like it's trying to understand what it feels like to be in Nigeria and understanding these 2 families' fates. I think that sounded interesting to me. Then of course there's the Indian book, which is interesting because it's called Western Lane by Chetna Maroo, and it's essentially about an 11-year-old who is reeling from her mother's death. So she really gets into squash as a sport, and like that gives her strength or something. I'm not too sure, but that's really interesting. I've never really heard of like an Indian getting into squash per se. Like I would be like cricket, but like squash, that sounds interesting, and I can't wait to see what that one is about. Then there is a book by Sebastian Barry called Old God's Time, which is a detective novel, which is interesting that it's on this list. But apparently like Sebastian Barry has previously written a lot of like historical fiction and a lot of like literary stuff, but this time it's about this retired policeman who's trying to find clues about like a cold case that he's had, and like just what that experience is like, I guess. I usually with mysteries and like detective cases, I like not to know too much about it, like from the synopsis, because I sometimes feel like it gives it away. So I don't want to know too much about this one, but I think that one is another book that I might read. And then what am I missing out? Yeah, there is a book called Study for Obedience by Sarah Bernstein, which is basically about this unnamed narrator who moves to a remote and unnamed town where strange things seems to be happening to the residents' animals and crops. Now I don't know if I want to read this one just yet, but I think that it sounds interesting, and if it's on the shortlist then I'll definitely like read it. Another book that sounds interesting, but I don't know whether I want to read it immediately, is a book called The House of Doors by Twan. And this is basically a book about this like Somerset Maugham, like the famous writer, and he comes to this like place in Malaysia to live with this family, and just like it talks about like homosexuality as well as gender, race, and the power of the empire. So it sounds interesting. I am more interested about the power of the empire because, like, you know, living under the empire, I mean in the past, not me but my family. I mean, interested to see what they have to say about that, but I don't think this is very high on my list. Though a book that I might be intrigued by is this book called Prophet Song by Paul Lynch, and this is basically set in a dystopian world where a mother's husband and son have been taken in by the police, and she's sort of struggling to figure out what has happened to them and like get them back, I think. And yeah, I just think that it would be interesting. It says that Lynch looks to the near future, presenting a dystopian vision of the decline of democracy in Ireland. So that's interesting. Another book that I don't think I want to read just yet, but it's basically called This Other Eden by Paul Harding, and it's based on a true story about a mixed race community on an island which is off the coast of Maine. And basically, I'm assuming it's something like The Mercies by Kiran Millwood Hargrave, where they see this community that is thriving and people go like, you cannot have it, or something like that. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I mean, I don't know whether that sounds the most interesting. People think that it is quite boring from what I've understood, but yeah. Then there's another one which is supposed to be like funny but it's also really ginormous. Like, I think it's like 600 pages, and that is The Bee Sting by Paul Murray. And this one is basically about a family where things are going wrong, and it's basically sort of like, from what I've understood, it sort of talks about like the butterfly effect, but instead of the butterfly effect, it's called the bee sting. So it says, where does it all go wrong? A patch of ice on the tarmac, a casual favor to a charming stranger, a bee caught beneath a bridal veil. Can a single moment of bad luck change the direction of a life? And if the story has already been written, is there still time to find a happy ending? So basically, it's about this family that things are going to shit for them, and they're trying to figure out where exactly it went wrong. And yeah, it seems like it's supposed to be like funny, but I don't know whether I want to read 600 pages of funny just yet. Now, what am I missing out on? What have I not spoken about? Yes, okay. So All the Little Bird's Heart by Victoria Lloyd Barlow is about a fateful summer where a charming couple moves next door to Sunday Forrester, an autistic single mother, upending her family's carefully ordered world. I mean, it sounds cool, but I don't know. I don't know about that. A book that I definitely don't think I want to read is because it's like about poetry, I think, and that is Pearled by Sian Hughes, and this is inspired by a medieval poem of the same name. Hughes tells the story of a woman, Marianne, who becomes fascinated by the poem as she grapples with her family's secret. The degree of difficulty in writing a book of this sort, at once quiet and hugely ambitious, is very high, the Booker Judges says. It is a book that will be passed from hand to hand for a long time to come. Well, I mean, if it's difficult to write, it'll be difficult to read, and I don't like poetry either, so I don't know whether I want to read it immediately, but if it is shortlisted, then well, I'll have to, but let us see. Then I think the last one that I've not spoken about is How to Build a Boat by Elaine Feeney, and this is apparently about, no wait, what is this about? Okay, so on Goodreads, for the description of How to Build a Boat by Elaine Feeney, it just says, this is the story of a remarkable boy and his search for his mother, told with warmth, tenderness, and flair. Now that doesn't sound too bad actually when like you think about it, like just that description itself. So maybe I want to read it, I don't know. But let's look at the books that I will definitely read. We have In Ascension, Old God's Time, Western Lane, If I Survive You, and Spell of Good Things. And that, okay, so those are the 5 books out of the 13 that I will definitely be reading. My maybes are Prophet Song and The House of Doors, primarily because like I like to support Asian authors, and maybe How to Build a Boat. Those are the 8 books in total that I will probably read. The first 5 I will try to read. I mean, I will definitely read, and the other 3 I don't know about. But if you know anything about these books, please do let me know down in the comments. I am very sorry if I got a lot of these books like synopsises wrong. I will link them down, like the list down in my description for you to like go and Google it as well. But yeah, this is just me like 20 minutes after the announcement, trying to understand what exactly these books are about. But yeah, that's all that I have for you now. Please subscribe if you want to. That would be great and will feel nice for me. And yeah, okay. Goodbye. I will see you in the next video very, very soon.